twice over. And if you're living there, God, it's got to happen 5 times a day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. It can be a bit tricky at times, but it's not too complicated, I don't think. I mean, it's an easy transition, really.
Yeah. It's easier than learning French.
Yeah. Oh God. The sexy language that just sounds like everything just sounds so like amazing. You know what I mean? And you're like, what the hell?
It does.
Oh,
We've got all
God.
4 now.
All right.
Hey.
All right, let me go to the gallery.
So
Chris,
we must have. Which one's Zach on drums?
So I was going to say, Chris, this is actually, these other guys don't even need to be here. It really should just be you and I, because we matched up quite well on that single.
No, that was great, mate. That was great. I mean, I think what you all did, bass player Brandon, is it? In the corner
Hey,
there?
what's up?
Yay, how you doing, man?
How you doing, mate?
It's all good. It's all good. What I heard you guys do was amazing. It's like it had vibe to it, and that was the whole point of Skunkworks at the time. It's not like making a clinical record. And even the bit that Pablo sent me a little video of you guys in the studio doing it, and I heard you playing bass there, Brandon. It was awesome. I was thinking, why are they calling me? This guy is totally nailing it.
Oh, dude. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Can you hear me all right, by the way?
Yeah, I've got you. Yep.
I feel like this is like my 5th different teleconference service today, so I'm just like my head's spinning. But it meant so much to listen to that song and learn it, knowing that you were going to fill that part in. I don't know if Pablo told you, but when we went to listening to Skunkworks, it was like I just had so many ideas, and like I could just imagine us playing it on stage, and it was just it was just a pleasure to learn and to know that some point in the future, when the world opens back up, I'll be able to actually try to represent you on stage.
Oh, you're going to do a great job. I know it straight away, man.
That means a lot.
No, like I said, the way you guys vibe together was just great.
Was it strange? Was it strange having to relearn a song that you wrote, and you're like, oh, damn it, what the heck did I write for all this stuff? Or was it fun to go back and like re-experience, those riffs that you came up with?
Yeah, it was mostly fun, but there were a couple of little bits where I was like, oh shit, I don't remember where we went now.
Hey, I'll just rewrite it. It's my song, right?
You can't tell me it's wrong. I'll say no.
That's your right.
Yeah. No, you guys are all wrong. It's me that's right. But even with the Skunkworks album, we recorded it, and then we had like 6 months off before we started touring. And even in that 6 months, I'd forgotten bits, and I had to go back and listen to the record to learn it to do the tour. So it's like my 3rd time learning it now.
And you guys spent a long time writing it, right? Like the entire writing process was like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, about that, yeah. And there was a lot of rehearsing as well. And that was one of the beauties that we had in Stuntworks, was we had studio booked out. You could just go in the morning, start jamming, play till the studio closed at night, turn up the next morning, play all day. And bands don't usually have that kind of luxury anymore, I'm sure you guys all would have been called for sessions before, and you just like learn it, do the song, and you're out. But this was, we had the time to build it.
And do you think that luxury allowed the initial ideas to sort of like evolve and mature and sort of like...
Yeah. You know that bit where you go into the studio and you're still slightly unfamiliar with the song, and you're kind of making it up in the studio. Yeah, we've all been there.
You talking about? I've never been there once. Like last month perhaps?
Yeah. Right, yeah. But like I say, it was just a luxury of that. If we can really concentrate on this and just 6 months solidly working on making a good record, if we could, people don't have that luxury anymore,
Yeah. And do you remember anything specific about when you guys were writing this song? I will not accept the truth.
No, not specifically, because we wrote a lot of songs in that time, or
Yeah.
Alex Dixon, the guitarist, did, and I think we must have done like 20 or 30 songs, trying bits and pieces. Some were in, some were out. Lyrics were changing all along, and it all kind of developed. So I don't remember specific on the writing of this one.
That's amazing
I
that you guys had songs. We struggled to write 10 for this one, and you guys just
we had Alex Dixon. He's just ridiculous. Yeah, he's just a ridiculous songwriter. He just writes all the time. Me and him had a joke once, like little email thing of like the last Kiss album we didn't think was that good. So we said, me and Alex and another friend of ours, we did a Kiss tribute band sometimes. We said we should write a Kiss album, and I bet we can write a better album than what they're doing, right? So it was a kind of joke on email. Then the next morning I wake up, check my emails, and there's 3 songs from Alex Dixon that he's just written overnight with vocals, the whole lot.
whoa.
I'm like, okay. I write back, oh yeah, that's quite good. Yeah, I'll try and get my bass this afternoon and maybe see if I can write something. That afternoon, there's another 4 songs. The next day, there's another 4 songs. And he wrote a whole album's worth in like 3 or 4 days before me and the other guy even got our guitars out. And he just does that. And then we didn't do anything with it. It's just like, oh, well, there's 10 Kiss songs anyway. So what should we do now?
Was that the typical writing process, or what's your process to write new songs?
For me, I kind of come up with a lyric or something and then try and work around that for a chorus and try and put some music to it and then build from there. But Alex Dixon, he's just, he's got a multi-track mind. When he starts writing, he can hear everything at the same time, orchestral levels, backing vocals, and everything. And for me, it's like, hey, I've written a bass line. This is cool.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Well done. Yeah.
To me, the most interesting part about because it's been a treat that you've been able to upload all of the original demos from Alex Dixon for the Skunkworks. To me, the thing that was most impressive is that they didn't really change much in the final version. It's not like when he brought them to the band contributed and said well, let's switch this or let's change the groove a little bit, or it was.
Exactly. And this is the point then when Bruce says, later that, he wanted a different sound. It's like, well, no, actually, listen to the demos. And as you say, you changed nothing. He didn't come in and say, could this one be a bit heavier? Or can we put this chorus with that verse? No, he was totally happy with absolutely everything. And he just worked with the demos that he was given. There was no real input musically from him. And even from me and Alex Dixon, me and Alex Elena, the drummer, we're pretty much just playing the demos. In fact, I think the bass line for I Will Not Accept the Truth, I'm pretty sure that was on his demo. Yeah. So I just copied that, and I don't think he went up the octave. I think maybe that was my idea. But again, that's hardly songwriting, is it?
I don't know.
We were, I'm sure Pablo told you, but we were debating about which song to pick. And we went back and forth for about a good week or two. We some of us really liked Head Switch. We liked how heavy, how fast it was. And it was a 2-minute song and it was over. But we almost picked that one. Meltdown, I think Pablo loved Meltdown in particular. But
I'm in a band with an Italian drummer. Yeah.
That's the one I wanted to do. No one wanted to do that one. I'm in a band with a Wisconsin drummer.
Yeah. Tell him, hey, Chris, we had a parody version of that in the studio that Zach coined called I'm in a band with a crying singer.
Yeah, Jared kept crying.
because I kept crying in the studio, and like Zach was trying to console me because I'm just like I'm unconsciously weeping all the time. I can't control it. And Zach is just like comes to put his arm around me. He's like, I'm in a band with a crying singer. And it really like snapped me out of it. I was like, oh my God, I need to stop crying. Why am I crying?
It was really cool. It was a big moment for us to cover the song and to put it on video and for Brandon, I'm sure, to play what you came up with. It was really cool. It was so much fun. Much fun.
It sounded like it, you know. You can hear that in a band. I think one of my problems with modern music, you know, is this quantizing drums that drives me mad. What's the point in that? And it just seems to happen so much in modern music. And of course, now we've all got our laptops. So I'll pop that in auto tune and I'll switch this around. And we couldn't do that on the Skunkworks album because it was straight 2-inch tape. And that's how bands actually sound. So, you know, when I was coming to do a take on your song, I wanted to do it. I wanted to get one take, and I did a few takes. You know, but I wanted it to be that vibe of being in a room with you guys. You know, to me that's what it's about. It's sharing, vibing backwards and forwards. You know, the whole idea of quantizing drums is just pointless to me, you know.
Yep.
I agree. We had Pablo, I'm sure you told him all about Tonio, just our producer, has really honed in on drum miking in particular, and you can tell the cymbals are really clear, the toms are really clear, the bass drum, and it's just a raw take of me trying to hit it as hard as Alessandro does, although I never will. He loves his crash cymbals. Oh my God, he hits every crash cymbal. It was so fun to play. I'll tell you.
It was really the easiest part of the day for me because I was like, oh, I hit a wrong note. But hopefully, when Chris listens to it, he won't say, man, that guy's garbage. He hit a wrong note. I was just like, I'm just doing this to play with you guys. This isn't going anywhere.
It's a no-pressure gig. Awesome.
Yeah, you could have arguably took a break and just busted the cot out. Like sat in the studio while we played, and we're like, you guys got this covered. So I'm just gonna heckle you. I'm just gonna heckle you from the stands.
It was nice.
You missed a good chance there.
Yeah, we got lucky with it.
We'll have to share. Pablo, you'll definitely have to share Coyote with Chris when it's ready. I think you would love it just to hear some of just the other flavor, and then you could probably tell why we picked I Won't Accept the Truth. I Will Not Accept the Truth, because it matches really well with the rest of the album.
I haven't heard the album, but I watched a little bit of you live, and it's a similar kind of vibe you're going for. It's not full metal, but it's not indie pop or anything. It's that alternative vibe, and that's exactly what we were doing. So, yeah, perfect kind of thing to slot in the middle.
Were you playing on a 5-string?
No, 4.
Okay.
What's your favorite? There are a couple of songs that I heard you on where it sounded a little funky, and Pablo is probably thinking in the back of his mind, "Don't take me back to funk, man." But like, do you like that when you have bands that kind of like jump in and out of genres, or what's your take on bands who are trying to really solidify their identity?
Well, yeah, I mean, my band Sactric is all about jumping in and out of genres, but that's because it's purely for the fun of playing and just enjoyable, you know. We're just having a mess around. I mean, I don't know. When you get a band that's got a great vibe, you know, I love Queensryche. Queensryche is totally quantized. Queensryche is totally tuned, but they've got something really special about themselves, those guys. You know, works for different bands, I think, you know.
But it's also true that you do like define yourself as a heavy metal bass player.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. This is because I work with. I'm a backline technician for a lot of my work. Yeah, I work with pop bands. Some of the bass players there are real all-rounders. You know, they're session guys. you give them a funk song, they sound funky. You give them a blues sound, they sound bluesy. Well done. And then I look at myself and I'm like, that's not me. I can play a little bit funky if you want. I can play a kind of imitation of a blues line if you want. But really, I grew up listening to heavy metal. Heavy metal is what I do. The fact that I can do something a little more than straight ahead heavy metal playing doesn't, I think, give me the right to call myself a funk player, you know?
Maybe you can't answer this question, maybe you can, I don't know. But I'm just sort of curious as a drummer, was there anything you noticed that I did differently from Alessandro where you're like, oh, I need to do this sort of a riff or a fill at the end? Or I was pretty close to what he did, but, I'm not exact and different fills. And was there anything that kind of jumped out?
There was a couple of little bits on the takes where I had to concentrate that, like, oh, you're pushing that one quite hard. I should keep an eye on that particular bit. There was one little bit in the kind of middle section, I think, where you put 2 crashes in, and I was expecting 1. Little things like that, and I just had to remember, right, when that comes round, play 2 hits. And but yeah, I mean, great. Nobody wants it to be note for note, on the drums, the vocals, or the guitars, or or even the bass. I did a couple of little different things because. I mean, I hear a lot of people doing note-for-note covers. I've done some myself, and it's it's nice to get close, but you can never win doing that. You're never going to be better than the original if you try note-for-note,
Exactly.
We struggled with that a little bit to say, like, how, when we first started playing it, like, I listened to your bass line, I don't know, 50, 60 times to try to see if you played, like, one little thing differently. And I was like, so then we finally, by the time we got in the studio, because of how much we'd played it on our own over quarantine, we were like, all right, we got to make this more our own, and Chris will respect that. He'll absolutely respect that.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, to be honest, I agreed to do this song before I'd heard you guys do it, so it could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
That might be the truth that I didn't want to accept.
I am writing that down as a quote. Like, I might ask you if we can quote that.
Yeah. Because, oh my God, it would have been terrible.
And then how do you back out of it then? Like,
that's terrible. Oh, I broke my arm. I can't. My elbow's bad.
And Pablo's already paid my friend's charity.
Just put the song out. Let me know when it's out there. It'll be great. Thanks.
I can't let down my sick drummer friend. He's got cancer. Shit. It's a situation, isn't it?
Oh, well, hopefully we did adequate where he didn't have to pull those stops.
Not quite. No, it was great. I was so pleased when I heard it.
That's great to hear. But it's also great to hear that you're a nice dude and you would have done it even if we sucked. You would have still gone through with it. So.
But I mean, I don't know how many sessions you guys have done, but have we not all been in a session where we've sometimes looked at everyone else and gone, "What the fuck are you guys trying to play?"
Oh yeah.
I went to a session. I was just called up to play on someone's song, and I went down to the studio, and there was the engineer and the producer, and no other band members. So I start playing the song, and I turned around to the engineer and the producer, and I said, "I'm sorry, but these kick drum patterns, they're not regular. This drummer's doing different things all the time. I don't know if he knows the song, but what do you want me to do on the bass to lock in with these different irregular patterns that the guy's playing? I don't know who he is, but I'm not sure why you called him, And the engineer turned around and he said, "Oh, that was me."
Oh shit!
I'm really sorry. No, it's kind of okay. I'm sure we can work with this. We'll
smoke break.
My song was called Glimmer of Fate. That's the only one I've had to record where it was just me in the studio listening to something that, a drummer had already screwed up before. So.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, he was the drummer. I'm just kidding. It was great.
It was me quite some time ago.
Band argument on Skype.
Oh, it's constant, Chris. We're constantly dinging each other, hitting each other every day.
On Zoom, you can change, if you're the host, you can change the name of the participants. We had a good time with that over the course of one band chat.
A lot of swear words.
It's a good one.
Oh yeah. So Chris, like I was saying before, the rest of the band joined. We are totally down to turn this into a benefit video for Robin Guy. So yeah, either I don't know if he wants to do it. The other thing that I was thinking that might make sense is if he wants to do a new fundraiser in his page, because right now I did see that the link still exists, but it's already exceeded the goal. So if people go in and the goal has already been exceeded, they might not be as inclined to donate because they feel like, oh, they already achieved the goal. Versus if he does a new one, then it'll start from zero and we'll be able to also track how much money we're able to raise for him.
Okay. Oh, I'll have a chat with him. I'll ask him what he's thinking. Yeah. No, that'd be really cool. But I mean, the amazing thing is that he reached his goal because we were a bit worried about that. It's a funny thing. I'm sure you hear that in the UK we have free healthcare, and we do to an extent. And then it got to a level where they say, "Sorry, no, we're not going to give you more treatment." And so then he did the Just Giving, and that's when we all came in with something, including you guys. And so he got to his limit. He can now afford his chemotherapy, which is, obviously the main thing that we wanted.
That's wonderful.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it must be crazy, just the kind of worry that you go through when that shit's going on, But at least he doesn't have a financial one.
And does that mean that he stopped playing when he got sick as well, or has he still been playing?
Well, obviously with coronavirus, we've all been not playing.
Right.
But no, he has played. He did a gig with me after his diagnosis. I've done a couple of gigs with him after his diagnosis. In fact, there was a gig I was doing. It was just with a friend's jamming thing, and we asked him to come down, but we didn't ask him to play because we thought he's ill and chemotherapy and all that shit. And he turned up there and he was like, "I can't believe you guys are going to play Rat songs without me. You fucking cunts. Come on, give me the drumsticks."
Oh, nice.
Get him out there.
Yeah, so he was playing Rat songs with us, so he was good there.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good to hear. So yeah, we're definitely down to help and support in any way we can. So let us know what he says in terms of that.
Brilliant. I'll ask him. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for him as well, just to know that people all around the world are thinking of him is a beautiful thing, When I told him that to expect the money coming in from you guys, said that you'd seen him and you were excited and all that, he was like, this is brilliant. Fans all over the world wishing him well. That's a lovely thing, isn't it?
Of course. Well, I did get to see him play 2 songs once upon a time.
Yeah.
And for a song and a half, I thought it was Alex Elena, and then I squinted and said no, that's not Alex. That's a different guy.
Yeah, that was a funny song as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we're quite happy with the result, and we're especially proud of JR and the fact that he was able to make the song his own and not just try to copy Bruce, also do something different.
Absolutely. No, 10 out of 10 all around, guys.
I actually had to stop listening to it for a while because the more I listened to it, the more I was like, I find myself automatically copying it as a singer. So I was like, I'm just going to have to stop playing this in my rotation so that I can come up with my own melody.
Yeah, your own feel. It's got to be yours. But I think you did that. You know, like I said earlier, you know, bringing the vibe up in the second verse is a totally different approach. Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, well worth it.
For sure, and hopefully Blabbermouth will pick it up also when we release it the same way they did.
Yeah, you know, it's a funny one, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. It's Bruce's worst selling record ever. So I never know what to expect from how many people are interested at all. You know, it's funny with the Skunkworks Facebook group. You know, you get like 700 people in there, and they're saying, "Oh, you should release all these songs as a CD." And as I was talking about earlier, you know, CDs don't make money. And I'm going, no, look, it's on YouTube free, and only 200 people have listened to it. Don't tell me 1,000 people are going to buy it. That's not going to happen, you know.
That's true. But you're still planning on the book, right? That's still not in motion.
Yeah, I've got a lot of it done. I'm kind of waiting for Alex Elena to write some now, because I want it to be a compilation of lots of people. I've had quite a lot of people writing bits already, and you're in there as well, asking funny questions here and there, because it's all written like a question and answer, you know. So it's like a long conversation with different people coming in and out, and that's why I really need Alex Elena in there, just to, you know, so it's different people. I don't want it to be my autobiography. That would just be my opinion then, you know. But no, Jack Endino's done loads on it as well. And it's been funny as well. Like, I'd never been in this position before where I start writing about these are the things that happened, and then other people who were there write and tell me what they think happened. And I'm going, oh, I never heard that side of it, because they were in different conversations and they saw different elements. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's true, yeah. And I'm learning quite a lot about my own past from asking other people.
Was it a case of Jack Endino going like, oh yeah, and we struggled a lot to record the bass because he just couldn't like nail it?
I'll tell you one thing Jack Endino did to me, right? I can't put this in the book because I can't write it. You'll understand why, right? So we're in the studio playing. I was just doing some parts with him, and there was one particular bit that he goes, "No, you've missed it there. I'll just rewind it." So okay, yeah, have another go. He goes, "No, you missed it." He goes, "You're doing the same thing. You're coming in slightly late for the kick drum." And I was like, "Okay, just drop me in again. I'll do it again." I did it again. He goes, "No, you're not hearing it." He goes, "Come on, I'll show you." Right? So this is all before Pro Tools. We're on 2-inch tape, right? He takes me through to the tape room where they've got the tape deck laid out and the two big coils of tape. And there's the chart bars where you can see the little light comes up when something happens, right? And he was just moving it with his fingers, like really slowly, like going like that. And he goes, "Stop. See that light? That's the kick drum." He goes, now listen here. See that light? That's the bass drum. That's your bass. Now listen again. It's not the same time. I was like, fuck, dude. You mean we can't hear it at normal? You have to put the lights at like slowed down 50 times. That's how to get on it. And he was like, "Yeah, please, yeah." So okay, well, let's just try again until we get it. Because like I say, back then there's no moving stuff on the charts later. It's either there or it's not. And if Jack hears it's not there, then it's not there. And then obviously I was talking to him later, and I was like, "So, did you do that shit with Nirvana?" And he was like, "Of course not. No, because Nirvana were completely unable to play that kind of shit." Wasting Kurt Cobain's time by trying to show him that he's no. He goes, "But the fact is, you guys can do it." So please actually do it.
Wow.
So he ended with that was a compliment then, I guess, right?
Yeah, a compliment. But also, a producer's way is to make people feel good about themselves, and but also get a good record out of it. And after that little lesson, I wasn't going to play out of time anymore. I didn't want to have to go to the tape room like a naughty boy. Exactly. You know it.
That's what Pablo does for us in the studio too.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Pablo's got to record his 9th guitar riff for the 5th song in a row. Oh, let me add another guitar. So much guitar. Oh, let me do some feedback. No, let's do more feedback. Let's do a 3rd take of me doing feedback. But it sounds great. And then, of course, it sounds great.
I was doing that because on the original version of I Will Not Accept the Truth, Alex Dixon does feedback on the last, right after the solo. You can hear a guitar feeding back through that entire part, just like, we're coming back now, rising up now. And there's just like a screeching guitar, and I just couldn't get the same harmonic out of my guitar.
Yeah.
So
it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
Yeah, that's the next level. That's the next level, right? Because we used to just like sit around in a circle and play, and if we all play together, then we're like, that's a take. And then now it's like, I mean, you'll appreciate it from the sound engineering that you've had to do. Like, it was a next level thing just for me, for sure. And I, ultimately appreciate the sounds in the background, if it's in the right, right or left, and
yeah. It all makes a difference, I suppose.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it really sounds pro.
Sorry, JR?
I said it really sounds pro.
Yeah.
Like the whole record sounds really pro, like so far that I've heard, to like my first record, the drums were in mono. You know what I mean? Like it was just, it was just like, and there was one take for each instrument. Like bass had like one channel, guitar had the other channel, and we didn't even pan them in stereo. It was just all in mono. Awesome. And the vocals was one take, like just one straight through shot. And like when you listen, and it's good music, it's just really raw. And when you listen to like a well-produced track like Truth or any of our new ones, there's so much happening. There's like little feedback moments, echoes, things happening in different channels. It's just a much more polished product.
Yeah, but that polish has a cost too, because as Saturday went on, it was one of our longest days recording. We were recording that day, and throughout the day we had a few drinks. We had a few whiskeys, had a few beers, and then we kept going. And we kept going, and then we kept going as you wait and you keep going. And towards the end of the day, we recorded a song called Scotsman, which you're going to hear. And we needed to do some crowd chanting. And there's no way to do crowd chanting better than 4 or 5 drunk guys in a studio chanting in a hall for an hour and a half.
After social distancing for the entire recording, we just started like holding hands and being like, "Who wants to get COVID tonight? I want to get COVID tonight!"
Screaming our head off for an hour and a half.
Well done.
It's kind of responsible, but like the energy comes across in the crowd chant, in the final crowd chant that made
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, we wish we could have had you in the studio, like with the 3 of them playing while it was being recorded, Chris. That would have been cool.
Yeah, but it's still amazing the fact that that I can record in my little flat over here and send it over to you guys, and the fact that we could make a song like that's amazing,
Yeah, absolutely. Unforgettable for us. I mean, it's so cool that we were able to do this and join forces across the pond.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fun fact for you guys, because I shared this with you. Chris recorded the song with the same bass guitar that he recorded the original.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Sounds really good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the same bass I've been playing forever. I think some musicians get too into like worrying about getting the perfect instrument. You know, if I own that Steve Vai guitar, I'll sound like Steve Vai. And really, my thoughts were just like, get an instrument you're comfortable with and try and master it, rather than fiddling around with people for years. And I think if you look at, a lot of classic bass players, Steve Harris, there's been precision all the time. There's no messing around. He doesn't want to do anything else. And I kind of took that vibe from early on. Like, yeah, I'll find something I like and I'll make it mine, and we'll work with that. And luckily, I've still got it all these years later. And I still do all my gigs on the same bass.
Wow.
Cool. And you also recorded yourself, right? So we get to see you playing it and all that.
Yeah. I sent Pablo some videos. You can laugh at those later.
I want to laugh at them now. I want to stay on this with you, Pablo. I want you to share your screen so we can like playing in a robe or something.
I would have been pretty sweet.
They really work. I mean, I know that you were miming them, but like the energy was there, and you like moving and like taking your. I was like, he's really selling it. I love it.
Probably taking a few more risks than I would have done recording. Yeah. But I watched a few of these things, where people are playing differently in different rooms, lockdown jams. And I thought, they're not doing that live, surely. Why would you? I mean, for one thing, I played it sitting down. And I thought that just looks a bit boring. I'll play standing up for the video. Is that cheating? I don't know.
No. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Small.
In all honesty, when you see the final video with everybody playing, we mimed it too. We recorded the song first, and then we mimed it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I didn't. I played that same damn song. I was hitting the same drums as hard as I could. I had to play it like 6 times, though.
Okay, yes. You are the best.
And I'm going to leave the Zoom call now because that's the highest I'll ever get.
Do you know what, guys? It's been nice chatting, but I think I'm going to go and grab a beer now. These headphones are driving me mad.
All right. Nice meeting you, Chris. It's a pleasure.
Guys, it's been brilliant. Thank you so much.
So much fun.
Thank you. Time, and we'll post it. I'll share all of the songs, all of the album when it's ready with you, and we'll stay connected to coordinate the stuff for the release. Do you have a preference of releasing it in our YouTube channel versus your YouTube channel? Or
Yours, go for it. Yeah. I mean, there's a few hits, doesn't it? Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I reckon makes more sense on your channel.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I'll obviously put it on my Facebook and the Skunkworks group and stuff like that and promote it however I can.
Oh, wow, thanks.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To help, nice.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
All right, man.
Bye.
Oh,
Be
Bye.
free.
take care.